I'm here standing in front of my ham and eggs lantana that is swarming with orange butterflies. So I wanted to start here, even though every time I move, they move, and I don't want to scare them all away. Anyway, the last video I shot, I told you that the weather was cooling off a little bit and it was inspiring me to set up a garden party or two. Well, guess what? Since then, it's been blazing hot, back in the 90s, humid again. But I've already committed to doing some garden parties. So I have my first one coming up tomorrow, and I got a little bit of work to do. Luckily, it's the smaller of the two though, so it can kind of be a trial run. I want to show you some of the things that I have that I think are a little bit creative and fun touches for a garden party, especially in the fall time of year, and get you inspired with some of the fall tasks that I am doing right now to just beautify this space. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B, and I am in southeastern North Carolina. Before I can get going on decorating or beautifying the yard, I have to mow first. I'm going to put some music in my ears and enjoy daydreaming and coming up with the ideas of exactly what I am going to do to set up. The lawn has been mowed, and even though my grass is very dry and brittle, as we are lacking rain like a lot of other people, I got lines in it. The lines that you get when you mow the lawn are some of my favorite things. Okay, so moving on to some things to dress up the property for a party or just seasonally. Let me show you the first thing I've done. The first thing to add a festive touch, as well as something that I think is necessary for garden parties, are string lights. If you follow me on social media, and I hope that you do, you will have seen the rock garden all aglow with those string lights. I have two strands, one along the fence and then another set up on posts in front, and they are glorious in the evening. So the deal with my string lights is I have them going the whole way to the greenhouse, inside the greenhouse, and then they continue on around the whole back fence line of the property where the secret garden and the blue boardwalk are. So here I am on the blue boardwalk, and you can see the string lights right along the fence line. They continue right on into the shade garden because, again, that type of brightness or cheer or festive touch is something that I love. So I like to share pictures or even reels of these lights on in all of these spaces. But I had not had lights on this side of the property, and since it's now fall and our days are shorter, I wanted to make sure we had plenty of nighttime light for the garden party. So I've added yet another strand. And I can link below the ones that I use. It is just a plastic Edison style bulb. Garden party number one will be at 5 p.m. So it'll start off at the kind of daylight where everybody can see the garden, but then we will be able to transition into enjoying the sunset together, probably somewhere around 7 p.m. And then the garden lights are just going to be glorious. So garden lights number one. I have something else that I actually have to put together that is going to add another piece of beauty. I am a big fan of the kind of garden decor or pops of interest that you can add into your garden that you don't have to water or fertilize or take care of. So I often talk about garden statuary or decor finds, especially to maintain winter interest. We don't want our gardens to look, well, dead, firstly, or empty, secondly. So I like to have a certain amount of garden decor at all times. Not only does garden decor help to keep your garden having interest, but that's another time when we talk about like evergreens or staple pieces in the garden. Maybe the boulders would come into play here. So things that we can put in our gardens to have them looking beautiful. Well, I have two wind spinners right here, as you can see, that I am about to put together in the shade. I saw one of my neighbors had like a copper colored wind spinner like this, and I was like, yep, I am all about that. So I'm about to put these two babies together and add some more interest into my garden right now. And you know, when you see how gorgeous these are, that I am going to be putting the link down below too, in case you want to have the same thing in your garden. Now, even though this is something you put together yourself, it is so simple. We just have a handful of steps here and a handful of items that come together, and it is no big deal. It's so foolproof, in fact, that it says like this side faces out and this side faces out, so you really can't put it together wrong. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in this exact spot, but between the colors of the blue and the orange, which by the way are complementary colors, and you know that's something that I love as a color combination, but also my garden bench is right here. So we have the blue and orange looking awesome, and then I have my blue and orange garden bench. So once I get this set up for the party with its fall decor, I don't know, that might be right here next to it. So the first wind spinner that I picked out is the Sun Flame wind spinner. This one is called Retro Hollow Flower Leaf wind spinner. So two different ones, and this one is actually solar. It came with a battery inside of here and also came with a spare battery. Now, the only thing is, it's important to note that you actually have to have this out in the sun for about 8 hours so we can gather up enough energy to start lighting up for you, which is totally fine. It's not going to light up for us tonight, but it is going to light up for my party tomorrow. So all I have left to do is to put my little stand together. And then we're gonna go place this baby in the rock garden, I think. So this one I put here right beside my lantana that was full of butterflies in the morning. And it's in this spot because I kind of had a bare spot right here anyway. So I just added a little tiny pot of coleus. I'll probably put a pumpkin or two around there as well, and just use this opportunity to dress this space up. But look how gorgeous it's going to be, adding just like the perfect touch and flair into the garden. So I'm super psyched about that. Now, as we keep looking just beyond the wind spinner and beyond the lantana, do you see that? That's that purple Mexican sage. I got it on clearance last year, about a year ago. I had only bought one pot, and a bunch of you said, "Ooh, you should get so much more than that," because it was very inexpensive. But look how huge it is. So it's a fall bloomer. It looks amazing, and obviously it's growing quite quickly. Besides that, I know we're talking about getting ready for the garden party, but I just needed to show you that my Dragon's Breath Celosia is finally starting to bloom. So a lot of people who bought them in garden centers this year, you were seeing blooms on yours right from the get-go. But for me, because these were just volunteers that had left their seeds in the ground from last year, it took all this time for them to get their blooms going. But how awesome does that look, especially in this bit of dappled sunlight right now? So let's talk a little bit about some decor, ways that we can add some decor into our garden party or just into our fall, like tabletop, for example. These are spaghetti sauce jars, legitimately, that I just have spray paint. I always have spray paint because using paint makes the biggest difference fastly, quickly, and inexpensively. So I have these autumn colors, and all I did was clip some coleus from my plants in the back. Now, it's been quite windy today, so you'll have to forgive the fact that it's kind of windblown right now, but just to set on a tabletop or wherever, maybe it's beside a pumpkin so it brings out more orange, wherever you want it to go, little clippings of your plants and spaghetti jars filled with water. that's the ticket as far as I'm concerned. Now, these colors are perfect for autumn, and again, complementary colors, which I love, just like the wind spinners. Well, what happens if we're using different colors for autumn? Here's something else. Another very popular color for this time of year is purple. I see a lot of purple in a lot of places, and I love it. And like with the purple Mexican sage, which looks stunning. I have Mexican petunias also in purple. They're blooming right now, which looks stunning. So purple could be another color to integrate right into your fall decor or landscape or design. This is just some purple heart. So it's like a succulent style plant. You can literally just break off the stems from it and root them directly into fresh soil or even into water. This watering can, which I just had it kind of sitting around, I filled it with water clearly. I had it sitting around and I thought, this could be perfect decor for something, whether it be a tabletop or beside my garden bench or anything like that. And the purple heart is so versatile because it doesn't have to be in soil. So in this case, didn't have to be planted. It just had to be in water. And the plates and napkins that I got, they're from the dollar store. I had gotten them a while back. I just didn't want fall colors necessarily. This garden party is not about like the leaves changing on deciduous trees. Instead, it's about the colors of the garden, and I really wanted to highlight purple. So this is going to be perfect for me to be able to go with the plates and napkins that I got, just highlighting purple as my fall color. So even though it's been super hot and the sun is shining so much on the pool that the water temperature is really warm, our party is not going to be a swimming kind of party. So it's time for the lounge chairs to move off of the patio space over here, and instead we're going to be setting up our tables right up there. The actual table setup won't happen until tomorrow because of course we're expecting rain. You know, when your first rain in about a month doesn't come until you have a party planned, that's basically what we have in store. But we intend to put our patio table and other extra chairs and all sorts of things over here. So then hopefully I will be able to get some footage of all that stuff dressed up tomorrow for you. Here is what else is up. Of course, I want to change out my welcome mats to Halloween or fall themed. And I had originally bought this cutie pie carpet to go on the front here, and I was going to do it with this orange underneath, so it would be a 2-layer deal. Now my door is blue, and so doing the blue and orange didn't really bother me because again, the complementary colors of it, I thought that would be pretty cool. However, as I look at my containers beside my door, because I didn't switch them over to fall plantings, I'm not sure that I love the way that this looks, like the orange plaid with the red and green. Not really exciting. So instead, I'm going to use this combination by my back door where everybody will be anyway because the party's in the backyard. And instead, I'm just going to use a basically more black and white kind of style to go over my black and white carpet here, because I feel like that's less intense and can go better with whatever plantings I have on the side. And again, I do want to get a couple of little fall picks or maybe some pumpkins or something to put near these planters, so at least it will take care of the color scheme that way and have it still be no problem with that carpet. But then this guy, as I said, going on the back porch. It absolutely poured and stormed severely last night. Took all of my ornamental grasses and just made them completely flop over. But it's supposed to rain and storm more today. I think it'll stop before the party, but there's no sense in me trying to pick up the grasses now and then have them flop again. My easel's doing okay, holding its own with the little sweetie pie pumpkins in there. Our grass clippings have just come up high on the pots or pumpkins or anything that we had down on the ground, because this whole area must have been a little flooded last night. But this is how I'm setting the bench up, at least for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to change it again before the party or not, but I have everything here that I wanted. My ornamental peppers, my cabbage, The hibiscus is like, well, wait, don't forget about me. It is still a little bit like summer. But yeah, my flower arrangement here, like this container is the one I've been raving about for the whole year. The Diplodenia, the caladiums, and then I have the asparagus fern in the back, and it's quite full back there too. So they're almost, it's like I could turn this pot any old way and have it looking good. But anyway, we got those things going for us. My wind spinner up here, and it's so funny because it was going like crazy yesterday when I put it together, and now it's like, oh, waiting for the breeze, which I know is coming. We've begun to set some things up on the patio, but of course it can only be things that can be soaking wet. So I'll make cute little arrangements on the tables that I have, and all things, again, that can get soaking wet. And then I want to have some candles lit here, as well as have my string lights being on up here. And I might actually use this bar for the first time as like a drink serving place. So that is yet to be determined. But again, since I can't put anything out there now while everything's soaking wet, I can think about that. And my shade garden, well, it really wanted this drink. Everything's looking fabulous in here. I may pull some of the plants out just to give me some color throughout, because I don't know how many people will actually want to walk back here in the shade garden. The coleus pots will stay up in Nicoleus Alley, of course, but I might pull some things like the pot of begonias here that has the sweet potato vine out of it, or something like that to come out. Actually, these are my favorite caladiums right here. I do love that pot so much. That might be something I pull out. And this coleus is the pink feathers coleus. This is in its own pot too, so since it's not hanging on a wall, that one is a possibility. So I have lots of things that can still come out and decorate the space where everyone will be. It's just sort of a matter of time right now, letting things kind of desaturate, if you will. I definitely will not have time to add in some nighttime footage of the party, because this video is going up for you tomorrow morning, which will be Sunday morning. But check out my social media, My Carolina Garden, Instagram, Facebook, and just see how everything looked with all the beautiful string lights and candles and dressed up garden. Until next time, you guys, happy partying and planting.